has been a comadre for over 10 years. Welcome, Comadre Nellie.
Thank you so much. Wow, 125 of us on the Zoom. This is so amazing. Thank you to Las Comadres President Teresa Lara, Director of Programs Maria Ferrer, and of course, founder and my dear comadre Nora Comstock for the opportunity to speak with you today. I'm honored to be speaking at the 21st anniversary of the Las Comadres Para Las Americas. We finally come of age. If when we get together, we'll have to take a drink to that one because we're turning 21, right? And it's so exciting to see Latinas from across the country in attendance. I had to shut off the chat because it was too distracting to see. It is so exciting. And I want to particularly give a shout out and thank to my Rhode Rican comadre, Ana Cecilia Rosado, because I remember when she introduced us to this group of, about 10 years ago. And then, of course, having the amazing experience of having Nora Comstock, who made the Las Comadres real for us by visiting us here in Rhode Island some time ago. In fact, it was just, it's one thing to see it through the emails and stuff. It's another thing to meet her in person. And I look forward to the next Comadrazgo in person. And as you heard in the introduction, I am a Rhode Island Secretary of State. And when I was elected in 2014, I became the first Hispanic to hold statewide office in all of New England. And I had the honor of being reelected in 2018 to another 4-year term. When I saw that fierce friendships was the theme for today's celebration, I thought, perfecto, that is absolutely perfect. Because having fierce friendships as comadres is absolutely necessary when you're on challenging roads. Forming those connections with people was such a big part of the path that led me to where I am today. And it continues to be part of how I lead as Secretary of State. Over the past 10 years as a comadre, and even to this day, I look forward to the emails from this group. And although I can't always make every gathering or sadly read every book, in my parallel universe, I have like 36 hours in every day, and then I can get to read all the books and do all the chats and do all the things that I don't have as a mom of 3. That I have 3 girls who I'm raising with my husband, and they're 17, 15, and 10, and so it's a little bit hard to make it to everything or to have the bandwidth for all the books. But I have a list of all of them they're there, and those emails, let me know that I'm part of a larger support group. And in fact, I brought it with me here. The Count on Me book is a staple by my nightstand. Because just having it there reminds me to know that those resources are there. And they're there for you too. And they make all the difference. Because the biggest barriers to our success are those in our own heads. Fear of failure is a big one, but connections like the ones that we're building here today can be that final boost of confidence that you need to take that next step. I started forming those connections and friendships early on, wherever I happened to be. I grew up in Puerto Rico, and like many of you, my home was multilingual and multicultural. That experience gives us as bilingual or multilingual, multicultural people insights into how the world can actually be seen from different backgrounds and different perspectives. And it helps us connect with people we may not connect with otherwise. I attended and had the amazing blessing of attending Princeton's University School of Public and International Affairs. And I went on to get a master's degree in public administration from Columbia University in New York. And to this day, I still reach out to people I connected with at school and college. And they reach out to me. When I was in New Jersey at Princeton, I met a guy who was also there doing his doctorate degree. And by the time I finished my own graduate school in New York, we got married. And so I joined him here in Rhode Island. My family was in Puerto Rico. His family was from Washington State. And I didn't really know anyone here. But I was determined to seek out those fierce friendships and connections. And so I joined community groups. Eventually, through figuring out the lay of the land on community groups, I was appointed to the Governor's Advisory Commission on Hispanic Affairs. And as a member of that commission, I helped implement our state's motor voter law back in the 1990s, before I had even ever thought of running for office or anything. And it goes to the power of just getting involved. You never know where those roads are going to lead. I was also co-founder and president of the Rhode Island Latino Political Action Committee. And to this day, Real PAC, as we affectionately call it, had many of the people who became my core support group, many of the women who I worked with there stuffing envelopes at Real PAC and having meetings with, became a core circle of support for me later on. And during those years, I focused on empowering others, mostly Latinos and other people of color, to run for office. And particularly women, because they were less likely to run. I mean, let's face it, politics has historically been male dominated. And it was only 100 years ago that women got the right to vote. And it was not until the 1960s that people of color really won the right to vote, because it was the Voting Rights Act that really brought that promise of universal suffrage into real being. That's something that nowadays is actually under attack, and we have to fight really hard to make sure that we keep it going. So while women and minorities and people of color have always been active in political campaigns, they've often been overlooked as candidates. In Rhode Island, we set out to make things different. And so we developed a Latina leadership program. And we made sure that we had women in leadership roles in our political organizations. And as a result, we've had a lot of actually successful women candidates. After years of encouraging and helping others to run for office and getting asked when I would run, which is a thing for women who run for office, we get asked a lot and then think about it a lot before we jump in. I finally realized that being in elected office would be the best way to change the world around me. And so I pushed myself to make that leap. It was not an easy leap, and it was not one leap. It was actually a series of leaps in my head. And I ran for Secretary of State because I wanted to make government work for all Rhode Islanders. And I ran against a candidate in the Democratic primary that had a lot of money and the support of the political establishment. He was also a multi-generational Rhode Islander. And many people thought she doesn't have a chance of winning. But I knew I was the best candidate for the job. And I worked really hard and yes, raised enough money to get that point across. And I knew inside of me that I could get enough people excited to go out and win and vote and win, that I really could do this. And here I am. That victory makes me proud to be a Rhode Islander. I mean, this community embraced someone who wasn't born in the state, somebody who was ethnically different from many of them. And I worked to help them see beyond those differences, to see what I could bring to this role. And in the end, they entrusted me with one of the state's highest offices. In a way, Rhode Island electing the first Hispanic to statewide office in all of New England is in keeping with the state's history. We actually have a long record of being on the leading edge of inclusiveness and social policies. And while not every state has its moments of darkness, but we have also some moments of light. And for such a small state, Rhode Island has had an awfully big impact on the fabric of our country. And since you're a national audience, I cannot not let you know about a little bit about that. Because Rhode Island was founded back in 1636 on the idea of creating a community where people could follow the religion of their choice. 3 decades later, after that founding in 1636, the state's royal charter, or kind of like our constitution of that time, guaranteed Rhode Islanders, settlers, freedom of religion from the British monarchy. And now I know most of you have probably heard about the Boston Tea Party. And I know I'm about to break something like a big thing here for all those of you in Massachusetts, but really that was not one of the first acts of revolution in the American history. Rhode Island actually did it first, and I would say did it better, with the burning of a British revenue ship, the HMS Gaspee, about a year and a half before that Tea Party. And on May 4th of 1776, we were the first colony to officially renounce King George III, well before the July 4th date we all know about. So a few years later, when George Washington, as the newly appointed president, elected president, visited Newport in the summer of 1790, he was actually struck by this spirit of inclusivity and independence in the state. And a few days after this visit, received a letter from the first Jewish congregation in Newport that was expressing concerns on whether this new nation as a whole would embrace religious liberty the way Rhode Island had. Washington responded with a beautiful letter, and I really encourage you to read it later on, the letters between the Truro Synagogue and President George Washington, that assured those who fled religious persecution that life in their new country would be different. And so Washington wrote back and he said, and I quote, "The government of the United States gives to bigotry no sanction, to persecution no assistance, and requires only that they who live under its protection should comport themselves as good citizens." And I went back to those letters, as you can imagine, over the last several years to remind myself of the values that truly stand in this country, that in the beginnings of this country, and from which we at times have strayed. Washington saw that Rhode Islanders respected one another regardless of their beliefs, what they look like, or where they come from. And, you know, my election in many ways shows that. You know, Rhode Island wasn't just ahead of its time in terms of religious freedom. It was also a place where women like Anne Hutchinson, for those of you who live in New York, the Hutchinson Parkway is named after her, had a foundational role in creating communities and were recognized as such. You know, and I live in North Kingstown, Rhode Island, and we have a town called, the village is called Wickford. And in Rhode Island, fishing towns like Wickford in the 18th and 19th century, most of the men were either at sea or working in maritime trades, which meant that women had to step into roles that were usually reserved for the men in the businesses. And the community thrived, not despite, but because the women took on those leadership roles. In the 1800s, we saw a Black female entrepreneur like Christiana Carteau Bannister build a successful hairdressing business while being a well-known abolitionist. She was born to African American and Narragansett Indian parents, and was a descendant of enslaved Africans who worked in plantations in Rhode Island. And during the Civil War, Bannister was also an advocate for equal pay for Black soldiers, a radical idea at that time, and one would argue in many ways radical idea today, right? Equal pay for equal work. So Rhode Island is a place where women's voices and the voices of people of all backgrounds have always fought and managed to get, you know, heard. Not in the ways that we always want, but I think it's important for us to recognize that history and claim it as we go forward. And those voices are still vital to our success today. Now, I'm proud to say more and more women, particularly Latinas, are making the same jump that I did and are running for office in Rhode Island and across this country. Just this week, I swore in the state's first ever Afro-Latina Lieutenant Governor, Sabina Matos, who went from being president of the Providence City Council to now our appointed lieutenant governor. That means that 2 out of our state's 5 general officers, our constitutional officers, are Latinas. That kind of change only happens when we build inclusivity through fierce friendships. Going back to my days in RealPAC, we got involved with the Hispanic community in a way that was very inclusive and helped our community understand the importance of civic engagement. We now have 35 Latinos and Latinas elected in elected office, and they represent 8 different Hispanic groups. And more than half of the 35 electeds are women. So whenever I talk to women in government, I tell them that we have a significant responsibility to make our time in office matter by changing the structures that haven't changed in some cases in centuries, or at least decades. We have to spend time opening doors for others. And as our new vice president has said, I may be the first, but I won't be the last. Breaking that glass ceiling is super important. And I can tell you personally, it feels really great. But real change comes when the people after you also make a difference. And nothing gives me greater pride to see how my having been somewhere then opens up the door and makes it better for everybody else. And so, just remember that progress is clearly not a straight line, as we've seen in recent years, that a lot of times it's a zigzag. And, we have to keep that in mind so that we don't lose faith in the work that needs to get done. What's important is to stay engaged, participate, and to include others. There will be times that will absolutely require you to recharge. You can find that in your culture, in our familia, in your faith, and in relationships that you build in groups like Las Comadres. Keep building an inclusive environment that values a variety of perspectives and opinions. Offer support when others need it. That's how we're going to continue to increase diversity in our government and improve our communities, our state, and our world. Now, why does it matter, right, to have an inclusive and diverse government? Well, those values of inclusivity are part of the core mission that I have as Secretary of State. I've been able to fundamentally change the way government works here in Rhode Island. I've provided small businesses the tools they need to succeed in a way that's accessible to them, and with the empathy required to truly make government work for people. For example, you've got someone who's super excited about starting a business. They go on the website and then suddenly find business forms that are completely hostile. They're written in English and legalese. Forget about putting them into Spanish or any other language. It feels like you need a lawyer to read through them. Not all of us have lawyers in the family or friends or CPAs. And so what is accessible is not really accessible. The forms and the websites become barriers to would-be business owners. So, we simplified the forms. We made them, put them into plain English. And guess what? That makes it a lot easier to understand whether English is your first language or not. It also makes them a lot easier to translate them into other languages. And we made these forms available in a completely redesigned website that takes into account the fact that the person coming to the website may not know what they even need or want in terms of services. Another area where I've been able to bring significant change and transparency in government is to make sure that people can access their government, what their government is doing, and understand how to get involved. And what's great about this is that I'm using those same resources taxpayers have already provided to make it happen. We're just being smarter about how we apply our resources and our people. Now, of course, the one area in my office that gets the most attention, usually, and even more so over the last 18 months, has been my elections division. So secretaries of state in many states are chief election officials. and I am that here in Rhode Island. And so I consider myself a defender of democracy. That means it is my responsibility and honor to deliver safe, secure, and modern voting options to our citizens. Since taking office in 2015, I've made cybersecurity and the modernization of our election systems a top priority. And I'm proud to say that we have evolved our systems tremendously in that time. And now Rhode Island is a national leader in election cybersecurity. But while the integrity of every vote is vital, it's also my job to improve access to the ballot box, because that's the path to real change in our government. For me, one of the best things about the 2020 election was the irrefutable proof that we can absolutely improve access to the ballot box while improving the integrity of every vote. In Rhode Island, we shattered the state's turnout records for voting in last year's November election, despite the challenges of the pandemic. And we had no major issues with things like long lines, people not receiving ballots, cybersecurity breaches. It was an absolute home run. Now, that of course didn't just happen overnight. I spent years upgrading Rhode Island's voting infrastructure and modernizing our elections laws, which helped us adapt during the pandemic. I fought to expand early in-person voting, and I even ended up fighting all the way to the Supreme Court to make sure people could vote safely from home. In the end, 2/3 of all Rhode Island votes were cast before Election Day, which was the first time that had ever happened. And we shattered those turnout records. And when more people vote, you get more diversity in government. Rhode Island is the proof of it. We have more women and minorities elected to office in Rhode Island than ever before. And we're not done yet. Because, while we've made enormous strides in who can vote in this country over the past 100 years, we've made fewer changes in how they can vote. These systems were not designed with people like us in mind. They were first designed, let's go back to our history again, by white landowning men hundreds of years ago. Over time, we've changed who can vote, but not necessarily how people can vote. That's the change that our country is really wrestling with. And so, yes, casting your vote is absolutely vital to keeping this momentum going, but that's not enough. Each of us also has to participate to encourage people like us to run for office. Or maybe even, I'm going to ask you right now, can you run for office yourself? When we support each other to run, it has to be more than just the words of encouragement. We have to contribute our time, our talent, our treasure. Yes, we have to contribute financially. I think one of the big reasons I've been successful as Secretary of State is because nobody like me with my experience had been here before. And so I brought a very different approach that included many more people, because that's where I came from. And I brought with that the power of those fierce friendships that I had built along the way. So each of you has that same sort of talent pool to draw from. You can change the way things run with your experiences and your friendships as guides. In my case, it's civic engagement. I've always been interested in it, going back to, when I first got here and joined that Governor's Commission on Hispanic Affairs. But 2020 showed us what can happen when enough people take up that call of civic engagement. I mean, it's not a coincidence that we got our first female African-American and Asian American vice president in an election that broke turnout records. It is not. And there are record numbers of Latinos and Latina in leadership roles now in our federal government, including 4 cabinet positions, our own Isabela Casillas Guzman as SBA director. These changes show us the power of inclusion, the power of helping one another participate. To me, one of the most exciting things about these changes is that they reflect the powerful complexity of America today. Our Vice President Harris can't really be defined in any one way. She's got various definitions of who she represents. Latinos, in many ways, have the same. My daughters will represent a diversity that is theirs alone. Many of our kids have an amazing, rich complexity of identity that many of us carry. And these are times that show that there can be opportunities in this country and that the possibility of change is there. Sure, change can be tough to bring about. And at times, unfortunately, it can be cyclical in nature. But I know that many of the progress that we've had, for example, in places like California, date back to the horrible times of the 90s and the Pete Wilson administration and the anti-immigrants, efforts there that motivated an entire generation there to become active, motivated many in our community to finally become citizens. And the California leadership that we have today that's so diverse is a testament to that work that was done because of those hard times of the 90s. And I'm hoping that that's a little bit of what we're seeing here today. There are time periods like the 50s where everything's stuck in time, and then you get followed by the 60s, and there's all sorts of upheaval. So, I would argue that we're in one of those periods of upheaval right now, although hopefully on the better side of it. So when things start to feel overwhelming, remember that, we've been here before as a society, and we didn't go from having, white landowning men be the only ones able to vote to Vice President Harris and those of us now being represented in our federal leadership overnight. There are plenty of bumps in the road on our way here. But you know what else there's a plenty of? Fierce friendships. Fierce friendships among suffragettes who got knocked down 99 times, but helped each other get back up 100 times and win their right to vote. Fierce friendships among women of different races during the civil rights movement in the 60s who helped get the Voting Rights Act passed. Fierce friendships of women who picked each other up when they needed it and said, yes, you can run for office and I will help you get there. That's the energy that gets us through. That's the energy I see in every one of us here today. And that's why it's been my honor to speak with you. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Secretary Gorbea. That was wonderful, truly, truly inspiring. We want to thank you. And if any comadre is interested in running for office, please make sure to check out our civic engagement breakout in Group A. Now, before we reward you with some goodies, please join me in thanking the two comadres who have made today possible, Laura Esparza and Monica Peña. You can't see them because they're behind the scenes, but they have been working with me on this Worldwide Comadrazo for months. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Monica. Now, to tempt you with some goodies, we got gifts from The Crafty Chica, Hernan Chocolate, La Sirena, Passionate Woman, Solicanto, Carla and Company, Casa Q, etc., etc. We're going to have 2 raffle selections. Okay, so there's a possibility of you winning, in either one of the raffle segments. So we're going to give out raffles now, and we're going to give out raffles after the Nora Awards. All the comadres present were automatically entered. You didn't have to do anything. Many thanks to Comadre Rosa Beato, who coordinated the raffle gifts. We're just having a little issue with the copying everybody's name and doing the selection. So we may read the names later. But be assured that all the raffle winners will be emailed directly. We will tell you your prize. We will tell you how to get in touch with your donor. Then you and the donor can get together and you can ship the gift directly to your house. We have lots of goodies, like there's chocolate, there's gift cards, there's clothing, there's beautiful jewelry, all good stuff. So we will announce winners later. If you are following along in your commemorative book, you should see the agenda. If you don't have your commemorative book or you didn't print it out, check on the website, the Las Comadres website. If you go to the Worldwide Comadrazo and you hit agenda, you will be able to see the agenda and follow along. So right now we're going to move into breakouts. I am happy to say that when we were looking for presenters for our breakouts, we didn't have to look far. Las Comadres has many, many talented women willing to share their expertise. And these are those fierce friendships that Secretary Gorbea was talking about. And this is what today is all about. 21 years of connecting with your comadres, of helping, supporting each other whenever and however we can. So here's how it works. You click on the join button and you will be taken to that breakout. If you need to leave the room, you can hit leave room, but don't hit leave meeting because otherwise you'll be thrown completely out. But if you're thrown completely out, don't worry, you just come back on, keep yourself on mute, video off, and you're good. When you go to the breakouts, definitely turn on your video, turn on your audio so that you can engage with the speaker. Okay, so here are the breakouts again. Pick your favorite topic. Don't worry about what you picked before. Pick whatever you want now. In room 1, we have fierce friendships, connecting with your comadres with Sol Cordova. Room 2, writing your story with Stephanie Elizondo Gris. Room 3, reading Latino Lit with Julia Abrantes. Room 4, civic engagement, paths to public service with Dr. Nora de Hoyos Kamsak and Dora Tobar. So, Laura, please open the breakout rooms. Comadres, select your room and have fun. The breakouts are half an hour and we will be taping these sessions. So, and we will make the audio available as soon as we can. But yes, so feel free to join any of the rooms that you like. And the topics, the room names are on the holding slide. Don't be shy, just pick the one you want or a speaker that you're interested in listening to. That's always a good way to pick the rooms.
Excuse me, I'm driving. Could you put me in room 4, please?
I'm sorry, who's this?
Maria, this is Stephanie Elizondo Grice. Can someone please put me in my room?
Laura?
Where do you see the rooms? I honestly don't see where we can go into the rooms.
What room does she go in?
I already put Stephanie in her room. You should see something that says room 1 and it says join. There's a little button that says join.
I don't see that.
Yeah, me neither. It's Miriam
Oh.
Molina. I want to go to
I am
room
so
3.
sorry.
Me neither. It's
I
Anna.
may not be able to do it as co-host because I can't do it either. So maybe
Oh.
co-host.
Okay.
I'm
I
able to.
I see it as a breakout rooms at the bottom bar in the laptop that I'm on. You see a button that says reactions, another one says breakout rooms. And if you click on that, then you scroll down the list.
I don't
Yes,
see
but
it.
then try
don't
to
have-
add yourself to
If
it.
you hover over where it says room number and then the title, and then there's a little number next to it. If you hover over, it'll say join.
Ah, yes, got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is Kim Montoya. I don't see anywhere where we could join either. If you could put me in room 2, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't. I'm hovering over it, but I'm not,
I
nothing
am
is
so
happening.
sorry.
Me too.
You
Yeah,
have
oh,
to
this is
hover over the number.
Something now.
Yeah, this is Sandra Thompson. I'm on my iPad and I don't see that panel at the bottom. So if someone can place me in room 2 with
Okay.
Stephanie, that'd be great. Okay,
I-
got it.
I-
Thank you.
Let me just say, I'm
Tina,
sorry.
could we check? And I can't get in either, and I had room 2.
Okay, I'm on an iPad. I don't know if this is going to help anyone. Perhaps somebody else is using an iPad. But
I got it.
at the top, left-hand side, there's a 4 little square boxes. It says join breakout room. So if that's helpful to anyone, it just popped up. It's helpful for me anyway. So
Yeah, I don't have
Just
that.
saying.
Maria Molina, and there's no little box that says rooms
I
at all.
am
It's
so
just-
sorry. I am so sorry. Hang on.
Yeah, if I could go to room 3.
Record,
that'd be
share
great.
screen chat.
And Maria, this is Lily. I don't see our breakout at all.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, this is
Laura?
Kim Montoya. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't see
Yeah.
any breakouts.
So I need to go one at a time. Lily is going into room, which room does Lily want to go into?
I'm leading one of the groups now.
Yeah, that's in the next session.
No, Lily, you're in the next session.
Gotcha.
You're in
okay.
the next group.
And this is Ana Realpe. If somebody can put me in room 1, please. I don't see the room numbers.
Got it. There you go.
Thank you.
This is
Karen
Kim.
Gonzalez would like to be in room 2, please. Thank
What
you.
is your name?
Karen Gonzalez.
All right, let's not,
It like showed up and then it disappeared. I don't know. I
Yeah.
had clicked room 2 and then it didn't get me there and then it disappeared.
Room 2 for Karen Gonzalez.
Kim Montoya, room 2, please.
Oh.
Miriam Molina, room 3, please.
One second.
put
I gotta
yourselves in the
do you one
chat,
at a
write your
time.
names in the chat and we'll grab you from there.
Yeah.
We're so sorry about this.
Mary Berardi, room 2.
Happy, I'm on the call. What's up?
Sylvia Klinger, room 4. Miriam
Thank
Molina,
you.
room 3. Margie Bricky, room 1. Kareem Fernandez, room 2. Come on. Virginia, room 4. Jacqueline Dietzen, room 2. Ana Rialpe, room 1. Mirta, room 2. Can't find Mirta. Kim Montoya, room 2. I found Kim. Candy Ivara, room 4. I can't find Candy in the list. I must have sent her. Ruth Rubio, room 1. Karen Fernandez, room 2. Candy, I can't find your name on the list.
I think we already moved her.
Okay. I don't see Kim. I must have moved everybody so far.
Yeah, so we only have,
Room 2. Karen Valentin, we must have moved her. Christy, we must have moved her. Aran Sasu, room 4. I have Lulu Flores left, Lily Hill Valletta, Ms. Ramos Beauchamp, Eldas, and Vivian Lipman Dennis, who I don't see on the list yet as having chosen a room. Let me,
Yeah, I did. I picked 1. I was in there. 1.
oh, who is this?
Vivian Lippman Dennis. I'm in room 1.
Room 1? Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else? Lulu, Flores, Lily?
I'm here. I made it. I'm sorry. I had to run to do something real quick.
Lulu, which room do you want to go into?
Let me look. I was signed up for the civic engagement one. I'm not.
Okay.
Yes, I think
I'm
so.
taking you to 4. Lily Hill Valletta.
You can take me to room 1. Thank you.
Okay.
Can you see Karen Valentin?
I do not see Karen Valentin on my list. Lorinda Mayes. Ms. Ramos Beauchamp. Elda.
Yes, I would like to go to room 4, please.
All right. So Karen, I don't know
I
why.
found her. She's good.
You did? Okay. So there's just, Mr. Barona. Mr. Barona, can you hear me? He has not been assigned. Lorinda Maes, can you hear me? I'll text them. I'll chat with them.
No problem. They'll speak up.
No.
iPhone Alicia. Okay.
Are you on mute?
No, I am not on mute. I'm still working on, I have a few names of people who have not gone to a breakout room, but I direct messaged them and none of them got back to me.
Okay, no problem.
I'm going on mute.
Hi, Maria. It's Karen.
Hi, Karen. Are you okay?
No, I'm not in a room yet.
Mi amor, I'm sorry. I thought I threw you into the number 2 that you wanted.
No, it didn't. I got an invitation, a link that said, to join number 4, and I said later because I wanted 2, but I haven't gotten an invitation for group 2 yet.
Karen Gonzalez?
Karen Valentin.
Karen Valentin. Oh, here we go. Found her. Oh, gosh.
She wants to move to room 2.
I can't grab her.
Karen, I think you need to join the room so that way you can leave the room and come back, because right now you're in limbo.
Right. Oh, so can they give me another invitation for 4 then?
Yeah, I can move you once you're in a room.
Okay, I don't see an option to go to any room right now. Is there?
Oh, it just came up. You want to go to room 2?
Yes.
Oh, it says that you are in room 2.
I'm here with you guys.
No, I know. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Shoot. Let me try and move you to a different room and then move you over to 2 from there.
Okay.
Bear with us. I don't know why it's not giving me 2 as an option, but it says you're in 2.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get my kids to help because they're really good with this stuff with school, but they said, no, it's supposed to be there, and it wasn't.
No, you are kind of in limbo. It's not letting me grab you.
Boy. Let me see. Let me go to
It's not giving me the option to move you.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know how.
Does it give you an option to leave?
I have no, all I see right now is the chat. I see you, Maria, and I see the breakout room A. I mean, not A, I'm sorry. I see the thing where it says breakout rooms, group A, and it just gives the, that's all I see.
I think you're in limbo, Mama. Can you just log off and then get back on?
Okay, yeah, let me try that.
Let's do that.
All right.
Did you assign Mr. Barona?
Yes, he wanted to go to room 2.
Okay. There's Karen again. And she wanted to go to 2?
To 2.
Got it.
All right. Fingers crossed.
I see it now.
All right.
Hallelujah. Anna, do you want to enter a room?
I'm here.
Do you want to enter into one of the breakout rooms?
Yes.
Which one?
The one from Nora, room 4.
Got it.
Okay.
Nikki,
are you there? Or is this Nidia? Okay.
I emailed her. I mean, I chatted her and she didn't respond.
Okay.
And I chatted Lorinda Mayes and she didn't respond.
Okay.
We're ahead of schedule.
Okay, well, we can give them a couple of extra minutes in the breakouts because it took a little while for them to get in there.
That's true.
And all right, let me call Rosa.
All right. So we're going to park here until about 1:15, Monica. Do you want to get off the phone or are you going to stay on?
I'll just stay on.
Okay. 1:15.
And just make sure to put yourself on mute again.
Yeah. I'm putting myself on mute too.
Maria, it forgot the programming that I had done in advance. So I've closed the old rooms again.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
going to have to go back and put in the new programming. But it's not letting me do it for 85 seconds. So let's sing.
All right.
So let's
Comadre.
smile.
Dance.
Dance, yes.
All right. So while we're waiting, you know, this is then I guess, you know, we have 85 seconds of free for all. So unmute yourselves and talk. Ask questions.
Okay, so this is Gladys. I was gonna go to room 7 and it brought me back to room 1.
Yes, yes, we're fixing that.
Okay.
We're fixing that.
Can we get the t-shirt address again? Can we get that?
If you look in the chat, the t-shirt address is in the chat.
No, I just want the slide back since we have time so people can see how pretty it is. While we get
Oh.
that.
Well,
You're
don't
asking
forget
for a
your
lot.
room.
Okay, mira, just look at Julia. Look at, oh, okay, all the comadres wearing their t-shirts. Let's show them
Yeah,
off.
let's see if I can if I can get it.
Yeah.
Where can we get
Look
other
at
comadre
that.
swag? Modeling it.
And in case you don't
Laura
know
has
where
it.
else to look, you can get the t-shirt if you go to the website under Worldwide
I
Comadrazo
closed
tab.
the
There's a website.
box.
Okay, Charlie, hang on.
The old programming room.
Laura,
Yeah.
you were saying?
He's working on it.
Oh, okay.
I'm
sorry.
seriously working on it.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry, Charlie, to cut you off. But yes, Charlie's correct. If you don't find it in the chat, please visit our thelascomadres.com website,
didn't she?
and it is there.
Hi, this is Sandra Thompson from Sacramento. Hi, everybody. Just
Hi,
wanted to share
Sandra.
this- Hi. I'm not showing my face because I had a bike accident and I don't want to share my big bruise on my face. But I want to say, even with these little technical difficulties, isn't it amazing that it feels so good, you know, to be with everybody, you know, sharing, you know, commonalities and, you know, learning from each other. I mean, it's amazing. So I'm not letting these little technical glitches, you know, ruin my buzz because this is like so amazing. So thank you
Good,
to
thank
the committee
you.
and everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yes. And thank you all of you who are wearing your t-shirts. I can see all of you. There's Adrian, there's Eileen, there's Miriam, there's Tess, Rosalinda. She's standing up with her t-shirt and stuff. Who else didn't I say? There's Maria, there's Julia, there's Sonia, there's Lydia. Yes, thank you, comadres.
And I want to add something. I'm on Zoom meetings several times a day. There is nothing that's happened today that is not normal. And it's been an awesome experience already.
Good.
So thank you. The
thank
quality
you.
is
Thank you, Eileen.
super.
I just
I'm-
want
I
to
re-
say, when I went to my first Comadrazo, which was the first Worldwide Comadrazo, which was the third one, it happened to be the weekend of Prince William and Kate's wedding. And comadres were walking around wearing fascinators. I refused to wear one, and I put a flower in my hair and decided that I was going to wear one every other time I went to a Latina function, because Latinas are fierce and we wear our flowers because, hey, we do. So, and that's why we started wearing them in New York. That was one of the things we started doing, making sure we had our flowers on at our Comadrazo meetings and our birthday gatherings. And I love seeing so many comadres wearing them today.
Yeah.
Thank
you. You and Maria.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, just so you know, the next The next Worldwide Comadrazo is in 2023. So this is your invitation, your personal invitation for 2023. And hopefully we will be in person. Well, not hopefully, we are going to be in person.
Yes.
We are going to have lots of comadres hugs and kisses and abrazos and squeezes and, and lots of fierce friendships. We're going to make it even bigger than it has ever been before.
Nice.
And Maria, can you help me? I have only the screen that says breakouts group B. But I
Sí,
don't
mi
see
amor, that's where we
anybody else.
are.
Oh, so I see you only.
That's fine. If you
Okay,
go to the little button on top where it says view, if you hit gallery, you can see a lot of us.
I did, and it's not coming.
Maria, can you see the breakout rooms? I posted them again.
I got it.
Yes, I can see. Yes, I can see them.
People are going in.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Anyone who's unassigned, please put the number that you want of the room that you want into the chat and we will start putting you in there.
Hi, Maria. Yeah, I am in room 6. I'm going to be speaking, but I don't see it.
Mi amor. Okay, let me see.
Same thing for me with the Latino Museum, number 7.
Oh,
They're below the older ones.
We're the host.
No, the new ones are in.
Right, but on my screen, they're below the older ones. The older ones still appear, and you have to scroll down.
I see.
Maria, mine is blank.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if anybody else's is blank.
Okay.
Okay, Maria, I'm blank too. I'm trying to get into this is Laura Cano.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Laura
Laura.
Cano.
Hang on. We will put you right away. Yes, we're going to put all the speakers first, so please bear with us.
Found her.
Okay, good. She's on twice. Sylvia, I got you. You should have gone. Karen is gone. Laura is gone and Lily's gone. Okay. So ladies, if you're in the chat, we will put you into the rooms.
Can you put the second me on? I think you only put one.
Okay.
Laura?
That's Laura.
I put both of hers in.
Okay, I haven't been able to get in.
Okay.
It may
I
be
got it.
overwhelmed. Just give it a second.
Okay.
I'm having trouble getting into a room. Could I be put into the creative art class?
Yes, Mom, I just put it into the chat. We'll be right there.
I got Christy in 7.
I got Mirta in 7. Jerry is into 5. Ruth, I put in 5. Evolutionary is 8. Dora's gone.
All of mine are already in.
Okay. Gladys, where do you want to go?
7.
Okay. Esperanza, where do you want to go?
7.
Is that like a lucky 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Grace Friedman, where do you want to go? Irma Flores, where do you want to go?
5.
Griselda, where do you want to go?
Casilda is going to, oh, she doesn't say.
Okay. John Barona, where do you want to go?
7, please. Gracias.
Joy, where do you want to go?
Yes. 7.
Kim Montoya, where do you want to go?
7.
Lulu, where do you want to go?
7.
Magda, where do you want to go? Mara, what about you? Where do you want to go? Okay. Sandra, where do you want to go?
7.
Okay.
Gracias.
Rosa Flores,
Sí,
¿qué número?
6, por favor.
6. Patricia. Patricia. Okay. Andy, where do you want to go?
Hola, Maria. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Love you. Okay, room 6, please.
Is this Candy?
Yes. Hi.
Hi. All right, you're gone.
Gracias.
Karen Fernandez, where do you want to go? Lorinda, where do you want to go? Okay.
Margie Domingo, room 7.
All right, Margie. Margie Bricky, where do you want to go?
I'll go to room 5, please. 5.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maria Veradi, room 8. Melinda Curry. Monica Rangel.
I'm still looking. Let me figure it out. Number 7, please.
Okay.
Melinda 7.
Melinda 7. Okay.
Thank you.
Brigitte. Bridget. Oh, okay. She's gone. Aranzazul Flores.
Hi, number 5, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Grace Friedman. Lorinda. Patricia. Patricia Zarate. Okay. And we have somebody, DLX. You might be on your phone. Where can we send you?
I think I was going to, if I'm the DLX, I think I'm going to room 7, but how do I get there?
Okay, let's see if this goes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Jackie, where do you want to go?
5. Nutrition, yeah.
Okay.
Number 5 is available?
Yes. Okay. Grace, Lorinda, Patricia, just let us know when you're ready. Okay, ladies.
I wanted to go to room 8.
Who's this?
Grace.
Okay, Grace, we're going to put you in room 8. There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anna, did you want to join a room?
I'm gonna join Laura, room 8.
Okay. Lorinda? Patricia? Okay, no problem.
So, Maria, since we really didn't get everybody substantially into the room till 1:45, I think we should call the start time 1:45 until 2:15.
Okay.
So we'll be back at 2:15.
All right, very good.